If that $500,000 engineer did not consume at least $250,000 worth of tokens, I'm going to be deeply alarmed. That is a real, direct mandate from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. It sets up a rather strange new reality for software development. We've officially entered an era where AI coding agents are operating at a massive scale, and burning through mountains of tokens has suddenly flipped from being an operational overhead cost to an explicit corporate goal. It completely shifts the economic incentives of artificial intelligence. Naturally, a team of researchers, Zixuan Wu, Carolyn Jane Anderson, and Arjun Guha, decided to take this new economic reality to its logical and, frankly, slightly absurd conclusion. They set out to measure the exact financial and token cost of AI coding agents across a variety of different programming languages. Their work strips away the glossy marketing claims we usually hear about frontier models. Instead, it looks at the raw, hard data of what actually happens when autonomous agents are dropped into a rigid environment and instructed to solve a specific algorithmic problem.
They identified a fascinating phenomenon they call tokenmaxxing. Basically, corporate mandates for AI adoption have triggered a textbook case of Goodhart's law. That's the old adage that when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. Right now, organizations are running actual internal leaderboards for token consumption. Agents are being handed tasks for the sole purpose of increasing language model spending just to hit these adoption targets, totally regardless of the actual utility of the output. So the researchers asked a delightfully simple question. If you are literally forced to burn tokens, what is the most efficient way to do it?
Now, the intuitive assumption, especially if you're a skeptic, is that working in a naturally verbose programming language like Java simply results in more tokens. A longer script means a higher cost, right? Well, the evidence actually proves otherwise. The real financial weight lies entirely in what the researchers define as process cost. We're talking about the unseen multi-turn reasoning, the continuous bash tool calls, the internal debugging, and the endless revisions. What really dictates the budget is not the character count of the final submitted file, but the absolutely grueling process required to get there. The data reveals a really stark plateau. When looking at the performance of models like Qwen 3.6, Gemma 4, and GPT 4.5 on live codebench tasks, the accuracy remains relatively flat across most languages. But token consumption explodes the exact moment these models move away from Python. The models achieve comparable success rates, sure, but they spend vastly different amounts of tokens to reach the exact same destination. To properly isolate this behavior, the researchers built a highly controlled, containerized environment. They imposed a rigid 256 megabyte memory limit and provided exact command line instructions directly to the agents. The agents were handed the compiler commands verbatim, things like java_solution.java for Java or cargo build release for Rust. The environment even included a working configuration for tools like Dune and Cargo, so the agents were entirely free to focus on writing and revising code without having to worry about resolving initial environment setup issues. After controlling for problem difficulty using a mixed effect statistical model, a very clear baseline emerges. When forced to work in OCaml, Qwen incurs a massive 1.69x token penalty compared to solving the exact same problem in Python. And the other models exhibit similar behavior. Lower resource programming languages command a massive premium. The underlying reality here is that these models just do not possess the same internalized fluency with these languages as they do with Python, and that lack of native fluency translates directly into skyrocketing process costs. Here's the part that's easy to miss. The researchers actually mapped out the physical state transitions of the agents, documenting exactly how they move from a broken state to a passing state. The mapping for Python flows efficiently toward breakthroughs, showing an agent making logical, steady progress. But the OCaml map is heavily distorted. It is a tangled web of broken states and regressions. The agent is just trapped in a cycle of writing a solution, failing, and desperately trying to patch the error. Grounding those abstract graphs in hard reality requires looking at specific trajectories. In one dataset, the Gemma model executed exactly 1,196 self-loops on a stuck state while working in OCaml. A self-loop means the agent attempted a fix, failed, and ended up in the exact same broken state it just left. Over 1,000 times, the agent burned through context windows and compute budgets without making a single millimeter of forward progress on the actual algorithmic problem. A literal 14-turn failure trajectory on task ABC311_D breaks down exactly how this happens. The agent writes a logically sound algorithm, it hits a syntax error, it then re-emits byte-for-byte identical broken code. The agent just iterates on this failure, bleeding tokens while blindly fighting the compiler. In fact, 92% of these failed snapshots are just compile time errors.
The agent only achieves a breakthrough when it finally names the concrete syntax error, which allows the completely unchanged algorithm to finally pass.
Interestingly, agents have developed a fascinating meta-programming workaround for unfamiliar syntax. Rather than struggling directly in OCaml or Rust, an agent will frequently open a separate file and solve the problem entirely in Python first. The trajectory logs show the assistant spending dozens of turns prototyping, brute forcing invariants, and verifying a solution against 31 separate tests in Python. Only after achieving absolute certainty in a high-resource language does it actually bother translating the final working logic into the target language. The internal monologues of these models reveal a striking level of anxiety, even post-success. The reasoning text frequently contains phrases like, "The output is wrong, let me debug," or "Wait, the input could be quite large." Models like Gemma and Quen actively second-guess their own perfect solutions. They will completely abandon an approach that has already passed all benchmark tests, opting to rederive the solution from scratch simply because their internal heuristics cast unwarranted doubt on their own success.
This second-guessing leads to profound inefficiencies. Gemma executed 205 separate stay loops in Python. This represents pure token waste as the agent repeatedly performs cosmetic refactors and microscopic performance tweaks on already perfect code. It is essentially the artificial intelligence equivalent of color-coding through desktop folders instead of finishing a report. The benchmark explicitly only requires the code to pass the provided tests, yet the agents willingly burn thousands of tokens engaged in unnecessary, unprompted polishing. The objective reality of the current coding agent landscape is defined by these specific behaviors. Python remains the absolute baseline for token efficiency. In low-resource languages, agents are fighting syntax and build tools, not the underlying logic of the problem. Having access to an integrated test suite frequently triggers endless loops of cosmetic polishing. Building efficient, multilingual agents really requires engineering solutions to these specific behavioral stalling loops, rather than just throwing larger context windows at the problem. Worth sitting with for a second. Return to the massive corporate budget laid out by Jensen Huang earlier. If an engineering team is mandated to consume hundreds of thousands of dollars in tokens, the data dictates exactly where that money is going. It is not necessarily funding brilliant algorithmic breakthroughs or novel software architecture. A significant portion of that massive budget is quietly financing agents trapped in syntax loops, prototyping in Python, and executing thousands of cosmetic refactors on already perfect code.
Please note, this explainer is drawn from The Best Programming Language for Tokenmaxxing by Zixuan Wu, Carolyn Jean Anderson, Arjun Guha. Informational only, not advice. If you enjoyed the journey, a share or a subscribe goes a long way. Special thanks to Max Plan subscriber Hans Jorg Zeller, @HZeller. Thank you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.